Hi, today we're going to walk you through how to get started with your new OXI One sequencer. The OXI One can be powered by any power source providing USB-C power. That can be a power bank, your computer, or even one of these. We've got a power bank here, so I'll just plug it in and press the on button on the side next to it. As you can see here, it's charging. Actually, in this case, it's fully charged. So let's just run it off of battery power from here on out. And today we're going to be setting up some sequences on the Dreadbox Typhon monosynth and the DSI P12 polysynth. And to do that, we're running our MIDI through the OXI Spilt, which has several MIDI out ports. So first things first, we're going to want to, of course, connect our OXI via the TRS MIDI out port here to the Spilt. Secondly, we'll want to make sure that we're in OXI Spilt mode. So in the config menu, the first option here, to choose enabled. So we have a monosynth and a polysynth. The next thing, of course, is to set up and make sure that they can communicate with the OXI One. So on channel 1 here, sequencer 1, I'm going to make sure that that's on the right MIDI channel and on the right port. The Typhon, I know, is on the second output, and it's on channel 4. So each of these letters corresponds to different outputs. Output 1 corresponds to A channels, output 2 to B channels, and output 3 to C channels. Therefore, since it's on 4B, I'll choose 4B. Great. It's a monosynth, so I'll leave the type as mono. And let's go back out. I prefer, instead of a chromatic scale where every key is available, I'm going to choose a minor key. Great. So now let's set up the P12 on a separate sequencer track. Again, it says chromatic. First, let's go into the settings and choose the correct channel. It's on MIDI channel 9, and it's on the first output, so that's 9A. And we want to choose polysynth. Okay. Now that that's done, I want to make sure it's on the same scale, so I'll just make sure the scale matches the scale on the first one. Great, so now we have two sequencer channels set up and correctly in scale. I'll go back to the Typhon sequence and let's just press play and see what happens. No notes, so nothing's happening. Let's generate a randomized sequence in our scale. I don't want to randomize the scale, but I do want a little bit of humanization, a little bit of randomness, and a higher density. Press any encoder to generate it. Great, I like that. So I'm going to leave that as is, and let's move on to recording a polyphonic sequence on the P12. So for this one, I'm actually going to record this in live. So let's see what we can do with the keyboard mode. As you can see, notes that are not in scale are darker and quantize automatically to the notes next to them. So I can just play around and record something in over our bass line. I'd like my chord progression to take a little bit longer to come around than my bass line. So what I'm going to do is make sure that we are in the division of 1/8 notes instead of 16th notes. Back in this mode, I'll press play. And I'll find a chord progression that I like. Then hit record to record that in. Great, so now that I have two sequences that I like, I can make sure to save them to my project by holding save, turning the first encoder to the project I'd like to save to, and pressing it. And now I can come back whenever I want and pick up where I've left off. Thanks for watching.